It's back to Larry and Dave.
Thank you very much, Art. The kid they call Showtime goes to the gate. The last 3 races that he has won from gate to flag. And that is quite an accomplishment for anybody in this league. Now, start time once again, and time to see if Jeremy can pull off a 4th straight hole shot.
I think the crowd, I think that the competitors on the line, and certainly those in the pits that turn the wrenches, are anxious to see not so much if he gets a hole shot. They're anxious to see what happens if he does not get a hole shot, Dave.
Well, as they head for the first turn, let's see who's going to get there first. Stanton is away well, so is Antonez, but it's McGrath with the inside line. And once again, Showtime shows that when the gate drops, he's the one who's got the reactions. Into 3rd goes Mike Kudrowski. 4th is Lamson. 5th is Craig. And Damon Bradshaw is 6th. As the first lap uncorks at Tampa, Stanton is challenged by Kudrowski. McGrath has done it again.
Indeed he has, but he has company. Can he hold on to the #1 spot? That will be the question. I think the action up front is a little more intense than it was in earlier rounds. I think you're going to see Stanton push just a little bit harder. Oh, and a crash. Somewhere around 6th or 7th spot, that is Buddy Antonez. And Antonez is out of contention. And this is the man we were talking about, Jeremy McGrath. And my question still is, can Stanton, can Kudrowski run him down? And not too far off the pace, we're looking at Damon Bradshaw. He's back in about the #6 position. So the good ones are up front. Can they catch McGrath?
McGrath has the clear racetrack in front of him. It is a slippery and treacherous racetrack. You see Bradshaw kind of skating around a little bit as the evening has worn on. The track has worn down. And you also heard the mention earlier of the fact that the moisture is starting to come up. Look at Bradshaw past people. He just drove by Michael Craig and Steve Lamson in the same set of whoop-de-doos. He's charging.
This is what I was alluding to, Dave. We did not see this type of intensity, this type of aggression in the earlier rounds. I think that the veterans now want to win.
Stick around. This is going to get good. We're back at Tampa, where 4th place, Damon Bradshaw, is being chased by a couple of guys that he just smoked off pretty good. Number 21, Steve Lamson, and number 24, Michael Craig. And they in tune have Sean Kalos in tow. This is the best race on the racetrack right now. Craig, determined to lock in another top 5 position, is having at it with Lamson while Bradshaw tries to get away.
Lamson was hired primarily by Honda for the outdoor series, and I think that anything he gets inside of a top 10 finish this first season in Supercross will be a bonus, but he has performed, I think, very, very well, doing an excellent job, as has Michael Craig. He's kind of a surprise to Team Kawasaki.
Lamson crashed in, his 2nd Supercross start last year for Team Suzuki and broke his leg, but came back remarkably quickly and won the first outdoor national after his return. He's a kid with a bright future. Right now, he's doing a pretty good job of holding at bay Michael Craig, who has climbed steadily through the ranks of Supercross results in 1993, and is still looking for that first top 3 finish. Craig goes inside. Oh, and Lamson hit his rear wheel and just about flicked her over backwards, jumps up to see where the traffic is.
I think Lamson wanted to cut to the inside of Craig, and the track got away from him. It was slippery there, and he just couldn't hold the motorcycle in. He tried to climb inside Craig's rear fender, is what he was trying to do, and ended up bottom side up.
On the same straightaway, number 15, Jeremy McGrath, pursued by Jeff Stanton and Mike Kudrowski. And now Damon Bradshaw is reeling in that lead trio, and I believe that this thing is going to get exciting before it is over with. Bradshaw is definitely on the move. He's at the rear wheel of Mike Kudrowski, and this ought to be a pretty interesting battle. It seems the Yamaha and Kawasaki guys have trouble getting along.
The racetrack, if you'll notice, it's shiny in some places. I want to point that out quickly because this is going to be the key to the race tonight. It is it's the throttle control. You have to dial it in just exactly right. Too much, you're going to spin sideways. Not enough, you're going to get past. Now, that battle back there has prompted Jeff Stanton to pick up the pace, and he has started to close slightly on McGrath. This, Dave, is what I think most of the expert observers had predicted, that when Stanton and Bradshaw get ready, they're going to be able to deal with Jeremy McGrath. At least that's the word from their side of the fence. McGrath's side of the fence just says, bring them on. We got time, and we'll take care of them.
Let's see what the message is here from Skip Norfolk as his man continues to lead. 4th race in a row. Attack the track, he says, and that's a good point. Forget the guys behind you. Run your own race.
If he does that like you explained it, then that is the way to go. If you start attacking on this racetrack, though, I'm telling you, you're going to have problems. That racetrack is like glass, like ice in some places.
You think aggression will get him in trouble?
It could very well. He's riding his own race right now, and I don't think if I were his mechanic, I would want him to pick up the pace. However, he's up there making the millions, and you and I are in this broadcast booth not doing near the job, so it's easier here than there.
Guys have won 3 races in a row. Myers is second-guessing them out front and cruising. Jeremy McGrath, and we'll be back to see who knows what they're talking about. I will raise a question about Jeremy McGrath. The question, is he the next Damon Bradshaw? He is en route to 4 in a row unless Bradshaw can slither through the traffic or run him down and pass him. And Larry, I don't think it's going to happen. Bradshaw sliding around out there.
Major bobble right there. He hit that slick spot. He was on the gas when he did it. The bike started to whip sideways. Bradshaw recovered quickly. That cost him about a second and a half, though.
Bradshaw was, in fact, closing on McGrath, but when you've got about a 6 or 7 second lead, typically you'll slow down.
Hats off to Damon Bradshaw. He is doing everything right. Now, this was an opportunity for the veterans, I think, at the start of this race to really show this guy that, hey, we've been messing around. It's time for us to charge. Dave, I don't know what to think except that McGrath, look at that. Now, he got into a little bit of a slide right there. Not to interrupt, but he controlled it. He just handled it like a veteran would, and it didn't even bother him. He just got right back on the gas.
I have yet to see anybody in 1993 who is in this kid's league, frankly. For all of their past success, the big stars like Jeff Stanton have simply been no match for Jeremy McGrath in 1993. Here's Michael Craig, who continues to impress. He is in 5th spot and looks like he's going to be able to hang on to that. And we noted last week that he's made steady progress from finishing dead last in the Orlando opener to becoming a consistent front runner.
Well, you're right. He finished last in that first main event in Orlando. The next outing in Houston, he finished 10th. Then he was 8th. He moved all the way up to 4th. Now he's running 5th. He's just amazing. And I think Kawasaki got a bargain when they put his name on the line for their newest addition to the Kawasaki factory team.
Talk about a bargain. I'll take this guy. I want my stock in number 15. Thank you very much. And I will cash in week after week after week. Nobody can touch him. McGrath is on cruise control. There's another cruise ride. Larry Ward has worked to the number 6 position. He likes Florida. His best finish to date was a 7th in the opening round in Orlando. Now running in 6th. Maybe he's turning his season around. Certainly has not lived up to his expectations this year aboard the privateer Suzuki effort, or Suzuki support effort, I should say. In any event, he's doing well here in Tampa. Well, everybody sets their goal at the beginning of the Supercross season. For most of these guys, the goal for 93 has been to keep Jeremy McGrath in sight. We're back in Tampa. We're in the final lap. The success story continues. Jeremy McGrath is beyond reach. Unless he does something really, really dumb, he's going to win his 4th race.
I tell you what, I don't think that anyone should count on that. He has done nothing but everything right all season long, so he's not going to make a mistake on this last lap. I am so impressed with the way he handled this slippery track. He is just, man, he's just head and shoulders above the rest of the field at this time.
Well, this is the kind of racetrack where you expect experience to be the key. It's the kind of track where youthful exuberance and a heavy throttle handle get you in trouble. And McGrath basically just kept the thing on rails all night. Now he's waving to the fans. He's reminding them that he is number 1 until somebody comes up and takes that honor away from him. Let the record show no rookie has ever won 4 races in a row in this series, and some great rookies have come down the pike, and we got to start thinking about the all-time record of 6 in a row.
Bob Hanna did it. Rick Johnson did it. Jeremy McGrath just did it to the field here in Tampa. He takes the checkered flag. Bradshaw is going to finish 2nd.
It was a relatively close second in the end, primarily because Jeremy was conservative the last few laps, but now it's time to celebrate. One finger aloft. Series point leader and would-be champion Jeremy McGrath claims his 4th consecutive Camel Supercross victory and beats the best in the business in the process. Bradshaw, Kudrowski, and Stanton. Then along with Michael Craig rounding out the top 5. Larry Ward, Sean Kalos, Brooks, Lawrence, and Palmer. Let's go trackside and hear from the winner.
Jeremy, it's looking a little sad for the rest of the crew out there. I'm a little jealous, too. Damon, I think, and myself have got 5 in a row, and you're up to 4. That 5th one, you're looking pretty happy.
Well, Bob, you know, the record's there to be beat, you know. That's what records are for. You know, I just got a good start. I really got a bad start in the heat race. And things turned out my way. I just, you know, it's so slick. I was just trying to ride my own race, and things worked out for me.
Everybody says the odds are against you now. They keep piling up against you, but you keep doing it every week. Are you betting on yourself next week?
Oh, I bet on myself for sure. You know, I'm really confident right now, and my starts are there. You know, who's to say? You know, I may not win, but there's a good chance.
That's a great job, and I'm looking forward to seeing you do it one more time.
Thanks, Bob.
Well, there's nothing like 4 wins in a row to pump up your confidence and your point lead. McGrath has an 18-point gap now on Damon Bradshaw, who's standing by with Art Ekman. Let's hear from tonight's runner-up.
Damon, is it depressing to run such a brilliant race and come in second?
Whatever. Second place is no good to me.
What about the start? Once again,
Wasn't so good. It was better. It was better, but not the best.
and then you made a terrific charge.
Just wasn't good enough.
How could it have been any better? He had such a lead on you.
Should have caught him. No ifs, ands, and buts. No comment.
Thinking about Atlanta already?
No, man. I'm just trying to think about what's going on right now.
Don't I remember somebody asking at the top of the show about the pressure getting to the rookie? I think the pressure's getting to somebody out there.
Let's turn that around. It's the first time this year that Damon Bradshaw or any of the veterans have indicated an unhappiness with the way things have gone. So maybe we're looking at a turning point, although I've said that, what now, 4 weeks in a row? So maybe not, Dave.
Jeremy McGrath whips them again in Tampa. We move on to Atlanta. I'm Dave Despain. For Art Ekman, Bob Hanna, and Larry Myers. See you next week.